Pakistan versus England, Pakistan in the driver's seat in that. Then we had India versus New Zealand, Bengaluru mein day two. Day one, remember it was washed out because of rain. Day two, India won the toss, elected to bat first. And surprisingly, we thought we won't see a repeat of 36 all out. We didn't see an exact repeat, but something very close. 46 all out India in that first innings in Bengaluru. Overcast conditions. हम लोग वहीं मौजूद है अभी. And it was. We were very shocked with that batting performance. Yes, there was something in it for the first two bowlers. Yes, maybe Rohit Sharma got the wrong call at the toss, but still 46 all out is a it is very embarrassing and very sad from India's point of view, but it's a wake-up call going into that BGT series, going into the WTC cycle. I think अगर आप इस तरीके से हारेंगे, it is definitely a wake-up call. और आपको ये हर वक्त लगता था कि भाई at home we're invincible, so New Zealand have shown you that they're also a very good team, and in these conditions they can also make the most of it. I felt उनके जो fast bowlers थे, they were outstanding. They used the conditions brilliantly. Fielding unki on point thi. From whatever I saw, they were at it. They didn't make any mistakes. And although I think it was the keeper Blundell did drop the catch of Rishabh Pant. Apart from that, New Zealand were on point. And in the end, even Will Young, Tom Latham, everyone getting the runs, scoring fairly quickly and getting New Zealand a lead past 100. So that's what it is at the Chinnaswamy. Abhi aisa dikh raha ki New Zealand will win this test match. They're in the driver's seat. India need a miracle, but there is also rain on the cards. यहाँ पे अगर आप देखो weather, today it was sunny, it was clear, but परसों जो yesterday जो weather था, it was rainy, drizzly. We didn't have any cricket, तो ये देखना पड़ेगा. कल अभी forecast clear दिखा रहा है, लेकिन यहाँ पे कभी भी कुछ भी हो सकता है. Since we came to Bangalore, sometimes it rains, sometimes like on the way here it was sunny, so it keeps changing the weather. Today was a good day for cricket though, especially as the day progressed. From India's point of view, they'll be very disappointed. Another failure for Rohit Sharma, another failure for Virat Kohli. Of course, questions will be asked from the senior players because इनके पास अब इतना बड़ा टूर भी आ रहा है ऑस्ट्रेलिया का. It won't be easy for them. You need these kind of players in form. Sarfaraz Jaiswal, the youngsters also getting tested. ऐसे conditions में जहाँ पे ऑस्ट्रेलिया में भी ऐसी conditions आपको मिल सकते हैं, तो I think it's a good wake up call. आपको अच्छा test मिल गया. And yeah, New Zealand will be very happy. There was a lot of talk by Sri Lanka. They struggled. They didn't manage to win the series over there. Sri Lanka dominated them. But coming into this series, they prepared well. Whatever they learned in Sri Lanka, they executed that here. And वो जो स्पेल था पहले 10-15 ओवर के जहाँ पे 3 विकेट चले गए, उसके बाद they slowed things down from India's point of view. उसके बाद New Zealand took full control of that innings and just kept taking wickets. Faz is joining me also very shortly as well, and he'll also discuss what he saw today. But I was talking about O'Rourke, I forgot to pronounce his name, but the tall New Zealand fast bowler. He's been outstanding even in that Sri Lanka series. He's going to be really good in New Zealand conditions also. Watch out for him when England play them. But today was really good. Excellent performance by SA women today, knocking mighty Aussies. Ibrahim Bhai, thank you so much for joining. Yes, I think it was a super performance by South Africa. I did not expect that. I know Australia के पास इंजरीज थे, उनके पास प्रॉब्लम्स थे, लेकिन जिस तरीके की ऑस्ट्रेलिया की टीम है, जिस तरीके का उन लोगों का स्क्वाड सेटअप है, आई थिंक दे हैव अ लॉट ऑफ बैकअप. बट टुडे साउथ अफ्रीका, दे बैटेड ब्यूटिफुली. आई थिंक इनिशियली we thought 136 it could be competitive, but like we saw in that West Indies England game, now the dew is coming into effect. Now chasing has become better in the Dubai Stadium. And South Africa batted beautifully. First of all, I wanted to get your thoughts on India. I mean, we saw 36 all out and now 46 all out. Very disappointing. वो भी at home. But ठीक है, वो पिंक बॉल ऑस्ट्रेलिया एडलेड, मगर यहाँ पे आप घर के कंडीशन में, जहाँ पे आप घर के शहर है, जहाँ पे आपको लोग ट्रबल नहीं करते, this kind of performance.
Yeah, I mean, रोहित शर्मा खुला बोल दिया कि भाई मेरी गलती है, taking the leadership एकदम straight forward and saying कि भाई मेरी गलती है, मैं पिच गलत पड़ा and it was my call to bat. But yeah, that is not an excuse. बेंगलुरु के पिच में अपने को मालूम ड्यूरिंग आईपीएल इट्स रिलेटिवली इजियर टू हिट, बट या विंटर्स है, आप थोड़ा उसको अकाउंट में लेना था. बारिश हो रही है, हवा चल रही है, देयर इज ऑल गोना बी पॉसिबिलिटी ओवरकास्ट कंडीशन. आप इंग्लैंड में भी खेलते थे पूरे, जैसे बोले मुस्तफा भाई तजुर्बा के प्लेयर्स है, दे शुड हैव मेड अ बेटर कॉल एंड मोर इनफॉर्म्ड डिसीजन एट द टॉस. बट Now what's done is done. You can't go back and say all you can do is move ahead and play with whatever is left of this test match. I think Devin Conway fantastic innings, aggressive intent. IPL में काफी लोग उनको call out कर रहे थे, though he had an index finger injury. Now he's back and you know what he's capable of doing. I think मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ Devin Conway a man of a number of shots. He can play a lot of shots. And yeah, it was a very attacking momentum that New Zealand came out with, and it was looking like it was easier to bat on because clouds थोड़े disperse हो गए थे, धूप थोड़ी निकल गई थी बैंगलोर में, and yeah, I mean very good crowds as well. Fair enough, हम लोग अभी बोले थे कि भाई टेस्ट क्रिकेट में इतने crowds नहीं आए, but maybe tomorrow also you'll see more than this. Irfan Ali bhai is in the house. Walaikum salam. Ibrahim bhai is there as well. So a lot of cricket today. Pakistan England के बारे में बात करेंगे. वहाँ पे साजिद खान खाली पट पे पट मार के विकेट निकालते जा रहे हैं. And credit to Pakistan, I think yes, a very gutsy move कि आप मुल्तान पे same pitch पे खेले, but yeah, you delivered on your word at least, or what everybody was telling you to do. You listened to that. So I give you credit कि भाई rank turner per se नहीं, but at least it became a wicket that is now spinning, and they have England at the risk of losing, and I think that's commendable from Pakistan.
Yeah, I think that's what you need to do. You need to play on England's weakness, look करे, and execution अच्छा आ गया. पहली batting करे, they scored runs, फिर उसके बाद जिस तरीके से bowling करे, I think if you saw on day 2 England duck it at 100, they're in a very good, fairly comfortable position. उसके बाद जो साजिद खान 3-4 wicket लिया before stumps was very important, and today they cleaned up England, got a very good lead, and now they've set a score of almost 300, I think.
Yeah.
Though wicket भी ले लिया, so they're in a very good thing. But from New Zealand's point of view, I think just to get back to that India thing, I think it was that he getting back into that rhythm. उन लोग उतना क्रिकेट नहीं खेल रहे थे. IPL में उनके काफी players bench थे. उसके बाद एग्जाम से T20 they were, they looked very rusty than that Sri Lanka. Now they're coming back into that rhythm. I think it was remarkable. वो भी इंडिया कंडीशन में जहाँ पे इंडिया आप देखो इतने कॉन्फिडेंट है. They've beaten the likes of England, Australia, New Zealand are on the course of winning this first test match. It'll still be tough for them to win the series, but आप जैसा Conway का mention करें, Conway there was a lot of criticism IPL में, and Indian conditions where he's not being able to do what he did previously, but they're all getting into rhythm. I think today their faster bowlers were outstanding as well. Will Young impressed me as well.
Matt Henry as well. I mean, the way he was getting the ball to swing, and this is the thing. India, जब भी कोई भी team travel कर रही है, I think the most important thing that they have to concentrate on is what New Zealand shows is clinicality in the field. अगर आप catches पकड़ रहे हैं, जिस तरीके के एजाज भाई भी पकड़ लिया, diving catch जो यशस्वी बांग्लादेश के अगेंस्ट पकड़ा, एजाज भाई भी point पर सिर्फ पकड़ लिए, but I think that is something that you have to commend New Zealand on. भाई जो fielding उनके हाथ को, and I think to be very थोड़ा बहुत critical of New Zealand, they were sloppy in the fielding in a couple of series in the past, just like in the recent past World Cup में भी नहीं चल रहा था उनका, very bad form with the field, and yeah, now this तरीके से उनकी slip quadrant है, the way they've been clutching the ball, and yeah, Matt Henry and William O'Rourke की बेहतरीन bowling करे, and yeah, they just had India by the clutch.
And this is what New Zealand have shown. A lot of people asked Bolt के बाद क्या होने वाला है, सदी के बाद क्या होने वाला है. Yeah, a lot of people they had that thing, but this is what New Zealand are about. They will always get players. They have a system. They get players through that system. कोई ना कोई आके they do the job. Like I know O'Rourke, the way he bowls, he's a bit different. Lanky. He's a bit awkward to face. But then you have someone like a Matt Henry who's very consistent. So they always have players. They keep churning in players. That's what New Zealand is. They will have dips because they're not, they don't have a population of so many key. They can just select a handful of players. Overall, they have a very good system. And, even today, I was very impressed with their batters too. I think the way you talked about Conway, Young.
Will Young also was very impressive. But I think India को एक जगह discredit करना पड़ेगा Mustafa, and we're crediting their fielding. Rohit Sharma dropping 2 catches. KL Rahul couldn't side the ball, and it looked like भाई एकदम zip बोल के एकदम. See, again, I don't want to jump the wagon. A lot of people are like, अरे भाई flat wicket, and ठीक है अभी एक मैच ही है, थोड़े बहुत different conditions लागे इंडिया के वे पे. आप एक रास्ते पे चलते जाते एकदम एक स्पीड बम्प आता है, and this is the speed bump for India before the BGT. It's fine, and not that they've lost yet. They have all the capability of pulling it back, and यहाँ पे अभी जैसे हम बोल रहे, weather आप dictate नहीं कर सकते बैंगलोर में. अभी थोड़ा चिली है रात में. It's not very cold, but it's chilly. We both have our hoodie on just because हमारा रूम ठंडा है. But फैक्ट ये है कि भाई कल धूप अगर निकली तो इंडिया अगेन, like if they they get past New Zealand and then they'll bat the whole day. Like India's capable of getting back this thing. It's not like a very bad situation right now. Credit to Kuldeep Yadav again, man. 2 wickets. Like
yeah, and he could have had more.
He could have,
LBW didn't go his way inside edge like that, and then a couple of drop catches. I think he bowled pretty well. Magar, yeah, I mean, if you see the way India bowled compared to New Zealand, I mean, Asman ka farak tha. And there, I go about Rohit Sharma reading the pitch. I think it's a bit of a concern because if you see in WTC final, wahan pe overcast tha, he bowled first. Today it was overcast, he batted first. But it's not only about overcast, he has to look at the pitch. If you see the WTC final, it was the day before, it was nice, sunny, the pitch was like pretty good to bat on. The day before the match started here, the day of the match starting, it was covered, the pitch, because of rain. So like जब आप एकदम से covers निकालते, there will be some spice, there will be some juice in that wicket. So he just did not read that. So it's been happening with Rohit Sharma. You know, yeah, you talk about the World Cup final also. The way he said it, he said that he would have batted first two, which I don't think he would have, but that's also misreading of the pitch. So that's what they'll have to look into. It's not a big deal, but if you have to look at point out at small things, that's one of, that's one of the things which led to आपका ये मगर फिर भी भाई 46 all out कोई excuse नहीं है. I think pathetic batting display, it was very poor.
Yeah, and again
not
like
expect
short
that.
selection was poor. Like you can't say anything like Virat Kohli ka to chalo it came to an height and it hit his thigh pad and stuff like that. But KL Rahul leg side पे जा रहा so ball उन्होंने chip कर दिया. That was a very bad shot. But Rishabh Pant एक 2 ball पहले बच गए थे. आपके Blundell catch drop कर दिए थे. अब a lollipop he dropped and then you go ahead and again go back into your attacking mode, which is your natural game, I understand, but given the context, maybe little bit, just take it step by step, because you're right now like 4 wickets down, and then you can't always expect from Jadeja and Ashwin to deliver like hundreds and stuff. So in these conditions where your top batsmen are sort of struggling, I think Jadeja and Ashwin भी करेंगे. थोड़े comments ले लेते हैं मुस्तफा भाई. Just a lot of things. Excellent performance by South Africa women's. I think you've taken this. Fantastic performance by them, and they've looked top gun in this whole World Cup so far. I think credit to them. They really took the women's defeat last year and also the men's defeat this year in the final to India very personally, and they're on a rampage to win a World Cup for the country.
Men और women's teams बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हैं ICC tournaments में. Consistency दिखा रहे हैं.
Confidence दिखा रहे हैं.
अब वही है कि final hurdle उन लोग pass कर सकते हैं क्या? We'll find out today actually.
West Indies versus West Indies का हो गया match?
No, West Indies is playing today against New Zealand.
Yeah, so that's there as well. O'Rourke in New Zealand conditions were dangerous against South Africa. That's where we spotted him as well, and Australia and New Zealand when he debuted earlier this year. Irfan Bhai, Walaikum Salam. Aqib Jabir has to be credited for telling the management why they're being so scared and leave the pitch dry and back their spinners. Yeah, I mean, it always is good that at least they're listening. You don't, I mean, yes, Aqib Javed is the new face, but I don't know, इससे पहले कितने लोग आके PCB को बोले होंगे and they just weren't listening. Now that finally it's like the end number of guy, तो आप बोले होंगे हाँ भाई इतने साल से हम देख रहे हैं अब तो सुनना ही पड़ेगा.
No, this is all because they were forced into it because इतने results आ रहे थे, इतने बेकार results आ रहे थे. This is the final straw. Yeah. I mean, it's not rocket science. हम लोग यहाँ बैठ के आपको बोल रहे थे spinning track लेके आओ. Like अगर result आता नहीं आता, it's your best chance of winning, and it's proven कि it's your best chance. You still, England can chase this down tomorrow. I'm not saying they will. I think it's 70. I think 80-20.
I think as long as Joe Root is on that pitch with someone who can defend, I think then it's.
But I think so. Like, but I still feel that even if he's there, people around him might skittle out. So I just feel that Pakistan are winning this game 80%. But even if they don't win, I think this is your best chance rather than flat tracks.
Yeah. Have you heard of the SRS retentions? We've heard about it, but we don't know how confirmed they are. It's Klaasen, Cummins and Abhishek Sharma right now. In some parts it's saying Travis Head का भी नाम आया है. So there is no confirmed source. Again, these are speculations from various sources that don't have the final call. But we as Sunrisers fans would probably fine with that. I personally would want Travis Head, but yeah, Cummins the leader. It'll be hard to find a captain like that. But if you do throw him in the auction, there's always a possibility of getting him back.
I just like right to match you can do with some of the players, but it'll be difficult. So I think मेरे को तो confirmed नहीं मालूम exactly किसके लिए जा रहे, but it kind of makes sense. They're going with the players who have helped them become this kind of team, a powerful lineup. So I think ठीक है, fair enough. But then again, then you might have trouble in the auction getting Indian players and stuff like that. So let's see what happens. And yeah, waiting for the official list to come out.
31st October is the retention deadline, and there are rumors now that 30th November tak the mega auction might take place in the UAE, Dubai. So we'll have to wait and see for that confirmation. Again, we're just giving you news that we see around and we hear. But there sources again, there are various sources of retention. Retention में ये भी बोल रहे कि भाई थोड़े लोग के रोहित शर्मा को मुंबई इंडियंस उठा लेंगे, हार्दिक पांड्या को उठा लेंगे. So we can't, like, again, you have to think from a budgeting perspective, and I don't think any team wants to give out. Hemang Badani is now, Delhi Capitals is head coach. That's also confirmed from them. So yeah, your thoughts on Hemang Badani coming back into management?
Yeah, I mean, Delhi Capitals need some help. They've had a lot of trouble in the past. They've had, the likes of Ponting, Ganguly. They've had seasons where they've done well, but I think that elusive trophy is missing for them. It's eluding them, and they need somebody to do the job. It won't be easy again, but let's see. He has experience. He's done coaching with the Sunrisers as well, so he has experience, and so let's see what he has on offer for the Delhi Capitals.
I'm personally happy with what happened today because it would have sent some jitters in that top order where the runs haven't really flowed. India will put up a fight. Don't count them out. Yeah, I'm definitely not counting them out. Again, like we said, the weather is going to probably, there's a possibility it could rain tomorrow. There could be a possibility that the sun beats out tomorrow. So the thing is about the bowling has to really finish off whatever is left of the New Zealand innings, and then that's where the batting will again be questioned.
Yeah, it's just that in isolation, 46 hazam nahi ho raha. That is the main
From
thing.
your recent form at home, you would not want a 46.
I agree. Don't count them out and everything, but like no, I'll be real with you. I'll be very surprised if India win this test match. Like from here, for me, it's a 1% chance. Like if it happens, then it's crazy. Like it's never say never in cricket. I'll be really happy if they win, but I don't think like the way you've played in this first innings, it all points towards a loss unless there is rain and draw hota match. That's different. But winning this game from here, for me, it's extremely difficult. I'll be very glad if it happens, but it is difficult.
Yeah, it is day 3 tomorrow, and New Zealand still have a bit of batting left in them. अभी कितना 130 कुछ लीड हो गया होगा.
Yeah, 130 का लीड कुछ है और उनके पास 7 विकेट रिमेनिंग भी है.
7 विकेट है तो लेट्स से अगर आप 250 या 300 भी मार लिए, लेट्स जस्ट से इफ इट्स स्टिल द कंडीशन लाइक टुमारो एंड you easily bat out India 300 and then India comes out to bat in those conditions, then yeah, it's a little more difficult. But again, it also depends कि भाई बॉल कितना हिल रहा है, फास्ट बॉलर्स कितना.
नहीं, आप देख लिए वो इनिशियल के बाद जब इंडिया आके बॉलिंग करे, it was not responding. The pitch was not responding the same way as it was when New Zealand, and that is because it was covered for a full day and a day before that too, I'm assuming. तो इसलिए.
So the retention amounts are minimum start for each retention. Sunrisers have decided to offer more and are retaining Klassen for 23 crore, Cummins for 18 crore, and Abhishek for 14 crore. Yeah, I mean, I read the same. I think it's ESPN.
Where does this 23 slot come from?
ESPN. So he's saying that the amounts are minimum start for each retention SRH. So the retention amounts are minimum start.
Customization चल रहा है.
And so they decided to offer more and are retaining Klassen. किस खुशी में they decided to offer more? Like why?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Any franchise do that?
23 crore दे रहे, मतलब 18 crore is supposed to be the top, right? The first
top 18, 14, and 11. Yeah,
and then 18 again.
Yeah.
So I thought what I heard was Klassen for 18, Cummins for 18. That's what I heard, the reports that I was reading.
Yes.
But apparently, man, all of this is just news. They're just leaking information. We don't know exactly. It doesn't mean it's false information. It's from legitimate sources. That's why Cricinfo and stuff are reporting it. Like, yeah, it is a bit complex right now.
Yeah. Do you think the current price of 55 crore SRH are spending on 3 players is too much, with potentially Head and Nitish Reddy also to be retained? So amount goes up to 75 crore. Yeah, 75 crore. Also, you're left with like what? 45 crores. Yeah. I think. Yeah.
I would say yes.
Yeah,
I would say yes, but also it depends on who goes into the auction. Because if you have a lot of Indian players going to the auction, if you have a Bumrah, Pant, Rohit Sharma going to the auction, फिर वो जो पैसे सनराइजर्स यहाँ पे खर्चे दूसरी टीम वहाँ से निकाल देंगे, then you'll have players available.
45 करोड़ के पर्स के साथ आप घुसेंगे ऑक्शन में तो थोड़ा तो यार मसला तो रहेगा. बिकॉज़ आप 45 करोड़ में किस को ले सकते हैं? एक बड़े प्लेयर को लेंगे, बाकी 50 लाख 60 लाख.
You basically have to take the guess कि भाई अगर आप ट्रैविस हेड फॉर एग्जांपल मिसाल के तौर पे, if you think that उन्हें ऑक्शन में 16 से ज़्यादा जा रहा और आप यहाँ पे उसको 16 में रिटेन कर सकते थे.
बट व्हाई वुड मेक वही सवाल आ रहा है 23 में. आप 23 में क्यों रिटेन करेंगे क्लासन को अगर 18 का फर्स्ट स्लॉट है, अनलेस क्लासन इज सेइंग कि नहीं मेरे को 23 में रिटेन करो एंड
But how is that allowed when it says
Yeah,
18?
that's
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
able to
Yeah.
figure out. But yeah, 46 is just an abbreviation in my opinion. On any given day, any other team would have got out for the same score. Also, I don't agree that they wanted to test the batters because they only played two seamers here.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. He misread the pitch, in my opinion. That's why he chose to bat first. And it's not about testing the batters. It was more about he thought it's going to be a flat pitch once the weather becomes good. But he didn't
So
realize
basically, I
the
thought it was like a WTC situation.
yeah, but he didn't realize the pitch was actually covered. Whereas WTC the day before it wasn't raining. It was just that day it was cloudy, like Subah mein.
Yeah.
So he just misread the pitch. I don't think it was kept by batters to test him, but it might be abbreviation, this and that, but it's happened now a few times where your batters have completely struggled, and you also need runs from your top order. And look, we live in a society, we live in a place where Indian cricket is always going to be talked about. It's always going to be analyzed. So when they don't do well, we'll have to criticize it. When they do well, of course, we will praise it. So Aj, it was a terrible day. Like
Yeah, also I think it's just more heat towards it because also given the series that is upcoming and the condition that will be in
Yeah,
Australia
and
as
you're
well.
playing at home here.
And it's just like everybody's getting to it. सब tweet भी डाल रहे तो वो थोड़ा और extra salt लग रहा. But I think it's also like you said, it's a good jitter call or a wake up call for the batsmen. That technically they have to really up the ante and देखना पड़ेगा आगे what India do. Yeah, to win it maybe it's a difficult. I'm none of those that is very ultra positive when it comes to Indian cricket, but Mustafa by a realistic perspective there है कि भाई draw would be like a win here.
Yeah, it would be a win here because 46 all out, and the team already has 130 plus lead with 7 wickets. It's very difficult to win the test.
Yeah, so see here it is. SR is increasing class into 23 crores is because he was approached by other franchises to come into the auction according to the certain reports. So that's what it is. Again, we have to just wait. There's so many certain reports, right? I think that Klaasen, I don't know how money minded. It doesn't look like that, but it could be a possibility.
He's the most looked after. Right now, he's the most wanted T20 player in the world.
He is the most wanted T20 player, and no doubt we know that. But I think 18 crore from a 5 crore valuation would still be a very good hike for him, like a 338% hike.
अब मगर प्रॉब्लम ये हो गया कि अब डिमांड उसका बढ़ गया, तो उन्हें अगर डिमांड बढ़ा उन्हें बोला भाई मेरे को ज़्यादा दबा के दो, नहीं तो मैं 18 से अब उसका वैल्यूएशन is going higher than other players that we probably expect, like maybe even Indian players. That's what's happened because Klaasen has probably been the best T20 player in the last 2 years. There's been nobody better than him. I agree 18 crores could retain kar lo. I think that's the perfect thing, but it just shows the demand, right, and the supply of a wicketkeeper batsman like a Klaasen.
Yeah.
And him as an individual entity, I think he brings a lot to the franchise. But yes, 23 crores is a lot of money.
There are also reports that Rishabh Pant might not be leading Delhi Capitals.
He's tweeting stuff,
Yeah,
right?
he tweeted that on I think a day before his birthday or something like that. He tweeted कि भाई what do you think अगर मैं auction में गया तो will I be unsold or will I be like the most highest valued player? Like let us me know in the comments. Like a lot of people are saying भाई आप पी के मत tweet करो and stuff like that. Like all the Delhi supporters and वो जो uncle बैठते थे जो the bald guy in the उनकी फोटो वहाँ डाल के अरे मेरी नींद खराब कर दी, हराम कर दी, फोन उठा तो वो सब मीम्स चल रहे हैं. एंड वही है कि देयर इज नो reliable source unless it comes from the horse's mouth, like either the IPL commission or the respective franchise social media pages. We just have to wait. And ये न्यूज़ बनाने के लिए भी रहता नहीं मुस्तफा भी थोड़े जस्ट टू गॉसिप ऐड करने, थोड़ा मसाला डालने. लाइक कल को आपको आ जाएगा विराट कोहली दिल्ली जा रहा है, some random guy will be saying that.
Also, if you remember, Pant just had an interaction with fans for I think the broadcaster before the match, here in Bangalore. So maybe it was part of that. Maybe it was like some scheme, the tweet. I don't know exactly what it was, but you're right. It's like it just brings attention and thing. And like the auction is the most talked about thing. It's still already been talked about.
Yeah,
not
100%.
even. So yeah, I think that will continue to happen. You'll see
in the next week. You'll see a lot more news happening. Like it's the 18th now, 31st is the deadline. तो आपको सब बोलेंगे कि भाई ये प्लेयर इधर जा रहा, उन्हें उससे बात कर रहा, फोटो स्नैप्ड हियर, ही वाज फाउंड हियर, ही वाज स्पीकिंग टू हर, हिम व्हाट नॉट. सो आई थिंक आई डोंट नो काव्या का हिसाब से पैसे खर्चती उन्हें, बट आई डोंट नो दे विल गिव फॉर 23 crore. आई मीन ही इज अ वेरी लव्ड प्लेयर इन सनराइजर्स फ्रैंचाइज. आई वुड लव टू रिटेन हिम. But yeah, we just have to wait for that.
I wouldn't splash that much money ahead of the auction.
5 crores more. It's not even like a petty amount. Like 5 crores.
Like
you can get like someone.
If you want to retain 3-4 players, retain them at the slots which are given to you. If you're going ahead and increasing the spend expenditure, from the original amount, like 23 instead of 18, I don't think that.
So unless they're doing that, already 5 crore का जो वो है, उसको add में 18 करके 23 बना रहे. Like he was bought on
So
5
then,
crore.
you know what I would
yeah.
do? I would just go in the auction, then we'll see how much you go for.
Yeah, I mean,
Because you're going to be up against maybe a Hardik Pandya, maybe a Rohit Sharma, maybe a Bumrah. Will you actually go for 23 crore? I'm not. I'm just saying that, like, because I think you will need some money in that auction. Yes, it's very important to retain your best players, but for that large amount of sums जहाँ पे आपके पास पैसे ही नहीं है बचे हुए auction में, तो फिर आपको problem हो सकता है.
yeah, बिल्कुल. Reports about Mumbai Indians also that they retaining Pandya, Rohit Sharma, Bumrah, Kishan and Tilak Verma and Sky moving to KKR. And becoming their captain, and Iyer is not happy that KKR making Sky captain. Of course, I mean, I would understand why.
Why would he be happy?
पहले
He
तो
won
कोच
the
कोच चले गया, कोच के पीछे मेंटर चले गया, मेंटर के पीछे अब कैप्टन की भी खिंची है. कैप्टन rumors also have it that Shreyas Iyer is speaking to Delhi Capitals, right? Like that's also rumors because Rishabh Pant might not. So there's all this train that follows. Like Rishabh Pant's not going here, and then Shreyas Iyer is going to Delhi because he used to play in Delhi, and then Sky is going to Kolkata because he used to play. This return of the hero back to his home is very frequently played. But it is a possibility. We can't say कि नहीं हो रहा होगा ये बात. But yeah, Sky being but based on Mumbai's tactic of getting Hardik Pandya, do you really think Sky Surya Kumar Yadav would like leave?
I don't know. Anything can happen, but I'm surprised that Rohit Sharma will stay. I think he's going to leave.
He should leave. Like that's what it is.
Yeah,
with all the drama and all that talk and all the मेरा आखिरी and all of this thing, I think yeah, you would ideally want.
मेरे हिसाब से अगर आप देखो like सूर्या कुमार यादव का like मुंबई इंडियंस में बनता रहना, मगर अब यही है कि इंडियन टीम के कप्तान बन गए तो वो ऑब्वियसली आईपीएल कप्तानी भी मांगेंगे. अगर मुंबई इंडियंस ऑलरेडी हार्दिक पांड्या का जो मूव करे, इट वाज ऑल बिकॉज ऑफ दिस ऑक्शन, राइट? एनीवे रोहित शर्मा वाज नॉट गोइंग टू बी कैप्टन दिस सीजन.
Yeah,
he might have been a part, but he wasn't going to be captain. The plan was to make Hardik Pandya captain, but they fast tracked it because he wanted it in the deal. So if that is the deal, then he should be captain this time around, and then probably that's leading Surya Kumar to go somewhere else.
100%. I mean, Surya would also just feel like नहीं हो रहा भाई अभी ये लोगों के साथ, I just move out and देखना पड़ेगा. नाइट राइडर्स का नया कोई मेंटर आया नहीं आया.
I can't remember. No,
I don't think anyone that's coming to my head. The only guy
Bravo
came as a mentor to all the franchises, like
so
all.
He'll be in KKR.
Yeah, so he'll be in KKR.
Yeah, Bravo. I remember.
Bravo is
That's
there.
it.
And any other coaching changes? Yuvraj Singh is speculated also to be either Gujarat Titans or Punjab also is there. Like that's also one news that's been running around. I think Delhi also is there. Ganguly is going to become the director or something of Delhi Capitals. That's one thing there. Adhian Bhai saying that why doesn't IPL just switch to mini auctions every year that where the core remains the same? It just helps in retaining the players that the franchise has invested. Yeah, they should really come up with this Premier League transfer market thing. What do you think?
I don't think we have enough players to have a transfer market. Like in the mini auction thing, I think it's a good idea. Like it's all about
broadcasting.
Yeah, as broadcaster and just the hype of an auction. I think that's what they are preferring right now. And let's see how successful or unsuccessful this auction happens. But yes, if you're looking at it from a sporting perspective, if you're a fan of a particular team, you don't like these changes. No one likes change. First of all, no human being likes change, especially if they're used to comfortable in a certain thing. And if you are following a team, whether especially if they're doing good, you don't want to see that many changes happening. But this is happening because of the broadcaster, because of the hype of the auction, the amount of eyeballs it's going to draw, the amount of excitement it's going to bring in, of course. And people are now wanting to host it. Like Dubai wants to host it, Saudi want to host it, London want to host it. So it's become a big occasion now, the IPL auction. It's like, the NFL draft, NBA draft. It's huge events now.
Phones फिरते आपकी social media pages activate हो जाते. Everything falls in like a circuit, right? Like your auction gets announced and social media gets added, multimedia like TV and all of these things get added. Then you've got your rumors spreading, newspaper का भी print media भी चल रहा है आपका, electric media भी चल रहा है आपका, digital media भी चल रहा है आपका, हर market चलना शुरू हुआ था. That's what IPL is capable of doing, and that's where they're so successful in pulling big brands and pulling big names, and where they're the biggest domestic league in the world, right?
The thing with football, you have a lot of teams, you have a lot of players. You can bring in players that we don't know about from a different league, and he can be amazing in a certain league. But I think cricket should also look at that NBA kind of draft system, because you know what they do? They basically each team at the end of the season, they all get draft picks from जो college के आते हैं. अब यहाँ पे college के नहीं, but like you can say uncapped players or players who are coming into the mini auction, they get ranked from 1 to 10. Now the जो सबसे highest ranked player है coming to the auction, he get like the guy who has the first pick is the weakest team in the table who came last in that season. So eventually क्या होता, teams start balancing out आगे जाके. Like you know 2-3 years ago Raptors were doing well because they got like second third pick. Then suddenly you had Denver doing very well in the last few years. So that's something maybe
That's
they
a
can
good
look
way
at
to
it.
keep the
And then you can have a big trade also, like a Premier League kind of thing, which NBA also have a big trades. So you can have a trade here and there. I think that's
I
what.
think, but
something
again,
can
like
look at.
ownership monopoly here are more in a couple of franchises compared to a couple of other franchises.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
so that's
वो
something
तो
that
है,
India में problem होगा कि भाई monopoly hurt होंगी तो फिर egos hurt होंगे and फलाना ढिमका. But yeah, for Bravo's KKR's new mentor Ashok Dinda is reported to be replacing Bravo at CSK. Ashok Dinda. Wow.
The Dinda Academy,
Yeah,
it's a very
baby.
famous academy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that.
The
Like,
headband gang.
it's basically the bowlers who
For
are
example, teams like Punjab can just don't have a face. Yeah, Punjab don't have a face because of their problem, like own selves. I think they've always had an average, say, ज़्यादा better team. I think.
amazing teams.
Yeah, they've always had good teams.
Especially now.
Now, yeah, and they just haven't come. And again, it's ownership problems as well. I'm pretty sure, like Naswadia, Preeti Zinta, there are a lot of involvement. See, you look at the players that they've had. They had Maxwell, they had Rahul, who was spectacular for them. KL Rahul. They've had Yuvraj Singh. They've had Sehwag. They've had Gale. They've had Nathan Ellis. They have
Mitchell Johnson.
Your favorite Rabada. They have so many good players, but they just don't have a winning mentality because that has to be invoked either from the coach, from the upper management.
Bailey.
Yeah, George Bailey.
George Bailey. George Bailey and Mitchell Johnson, they took them to the finals.
Yeah, so just the final nail in the coffin जो बोलते हैं वो नहीं है उनके पास. I think it's just the mentality and someone has, like, some big player might change that eventually, but there's something also that has to change from the top. Like ज़्यादा बात नहीं करना आप. Like शाहरुख खान को फर्स्ट सीजन ऑफ KKR में बात बुकैनन जाके बोले भाई तुम मत आ भाई ग्राउंड कुछ न को. So yeah, you just have to try and do something. Indian company Wonder Cements announced as a sponsor for SA versus India T20 series. Wonder Cements. I think there are enough players. We often talk about players who got unexpectedly sold. Yeah, again, the problem in IPL is recency bias, right? Like Steve Smith might go unsold, but then he got sold after the BBL where he was hitting hundreds and stuff. So like these things are always a part.
I personally think the quality has dropped when you've increased the teams, because I feel that players that you're bringing in, there are holes in every team. Whereas when it was 8 teams, I think you had the cream of the cream. You had the strongest players playing everywhere, and the fact that foreign players are sitting on the bench because you have an Indian quota that you have to play, that is increasing holes in your team. Like I think each team has more weaknesses now with 10 teams compared to thing, and that's not because of the amount of players available. I'm talking about the quality of players available.
Yeah, which automatically dials down like the quality and amount, like
No, you have amount. You have so many players.
But like wait, everybody wants to go for the star and हमेशा star leads खेलेंगे. Like even the unsold players never get a chance like that unless they have a freak injury and you see like like some once in a while someone coming in. But yeah, थोड़ा मुश्किल है. But I think eventually down the line when IPL is like overtaken by a mile and everybody now wants to play the IPL, maybe that's the time maybe they can look into this mini auction or the transfer market kind of a scene. But for now I think it's just going to be how it is. But yeah, I mean a lot of rumors that are coming out for retention. Again, there's no pakki khabar from anyone unless it comes from the franchises or like a very very credible source coming out and like owning it up. So right now let's just say it's plain field. Everybody still, no one has retained anyone officially, but yes, there are a lot of rumors that's happening. And yeah, tomorrow's day 4
in the India game,
day 3 and Pakistan game day 4. Yeah,
yes.
So India and Pakistan both Pakistan actually coming back from a initial struggle at Multan. Now Multan looks like a completely different game, man. Like I think but yeah, again Shan Masood, Abdullah Shafiq, these guys did struggle, but again like players like Agha Salman stepped up. Ahmed Jamal is coming out to be a very good pick for Pakistan.
दोनों ये लोग जो fight दिखा रहे हैं, I think it's been really good. Even Australia में उन लोग अच्छा performances there. अभी it might turn into a match-winning performance. I think Agha Salman, whenever he's called upon, he said himself in the interview today to Sky that भाई मेरे को पहले नहीं पसंद था ये position, but now I'm taking it as a challenge. I'm actually enjoying it, and you see when he's enjoying it, he's showing that fight, determination, and will to not give up. So yeah, he's been outstanding.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Sky, Pant, Hardik Pandya? Sky Sanju and Hardik Pandya and not playing the SA series but going for the BJT. I think that's a big positive for India. If Hardik Pandya is available for Test cricket in away conditions, you need a player like that. Sanju Samson, I think, has tons of experience now, so hopefully he can. With Sky, I don't see him as a Test cricketer, but never say never, right? Like you can have attacking players in Test teams, so ठीक है.
Yeah, the dynamics around IPL are very just different, and in terms of value, it is just only behind NFL, I guess. And with the way it's going, it might become the number one sporting league. Right? It's ahead of Premier League.
In terms of because NFL and
In terms
stuff,
of value.
like NFL, bro, the Super Bowl just rips everything apart. Like that event itself, the amount of money it makes, it's there's no like I don't even think Champions League and stuff come close to that. That's
You mean
what I
in a
like.
regular, I think, system, like, but like viewership, while I think still like football, FIFA World Cup is like still the most watched
Yeah,
thing.
but
Just
value
brand
में
value,
पैसा,
yeah, brand value.
अब एडवर्टाइजमेंट के लिए आप जो फाइनल दिखाएंगे सुपर आई मीन जो एडवर्टाइजमेंट सुपर बोल में बता रहे
Yeah.
उसका लाइक बहुत हाई प्राइस है
Buffalo
compared
Wild
to
Wings.
yeah it's very high price compared to other sporting events. Yes, in terms of population, I mean you probably have the FIFA World Cup, and then after that you might even have like a cricket game because the India's population itself is so huge, man.
Yeah, in another series, Sri Lanka beat West Indies 2 games back to back, and they won the T20 leg of the series. And again, good performance from Sri Lanka coming through. Again, like we said, it's been a long time now. It's finally on the rise. This time, Kushal Pereira and Mendes, I think, getting together and finishing off. Sangha missing out today.
Yeah, like you said, Jaisuri has done a really good job and will continue to do so. I think Sri Lanka बहुत अच्छा cricket खेल रहे. Started with that one last test that they beat England and then in England and then beating India in the one-day series, then beating New Zealand in the test series, and now again defeating West Indies. I think they're in a good role. They're playing as a unit. उनकी batting भी click हो रही, bowling भी click हो रही. So yeah, very good to see the work that Sana Jaisuri is doing, because Sri Lanka, you see, in the last couple of years they've been very inconsistent. They've had economical issues. They've had board politics. And I think the way Jaisuriya has taken the throne has been really, really good. And credit to Sri Lanka for playing like that.
Tomorrow, your thoughts on West Indies versus New Zealand semi-final? Like one of these teams have won in 2016. The other is yet to finish. New Zealand ke sath. What do you think? Who's going to take the final?
I'm thinking it might just it's in Sharjah. I don't know how. I think the pitches have been slower there as compared to Dubai. So I think New Zealand have a chance. Don't count them out against the West Indies. Right now, West Indies are the more confident team, and it looks like they'll go into the final. And I won't argue with you if you say West Indies, but I'll just go with New Zealand because of conditions. And they've had a good tournament so far. If you see the way they played against India, Pakistan. Yes, against Australia, it's been a bit disappointing, but I think they've had a good. And New Zealand is kind of team they like going under the radar. And if it was in Dubai, I would have probably picked West Indies. Again, it depends on the pitch. Right now, I'm assuming the pitch would be slow in Sharjah.
I think New Zealand, the batting has to step up, particularly the top order has been very slow in certain games. Plimmer and Susie Bates, they've just been very slow, consuming a lot of deliveries. And Sophie Devine, I think वो physical attribute उसमें है. Amelia Kerr थोड़ा wicket नहीं फेंके तो चलता. But like West Indies, the only thing now they've presented right now in that last game against England was the physicality and the ability to clear the boundaries. And comparing that to New Zealand, थोड़ा कम है, which they really need to work on. I think that's where Sophie Devine के बारे में हम बोल रहे कि she has abilities to hit sixes and stuff, and she needs to put that into play.
Again, conditions will come into play because I feel you saw South Africa today, the way they batted. They looked much better than Australia. They looked like they had the power hitters, but it's actually Australia who have better batters. But I think the conditions did help South Africa. They made the most of it. There was a bit of a sticky wicket. थोड़ा सा ball फंस रहा था. It wasn't coming onto the bat nicely in the first innings, but second innings, I don't know. I think the dews starting to come into effect in Dubai. So it was a very good batting wicket, and West Indies also received the same against England.
Shakib said he's now flying to Dhaka for the first test, that he doesn't feel like he'll be safe because of the Pro Deal that will affect Bangladesh. Yeah, that's been happening. He mentioned that in the press conference as well when he announced his retirement. Imagine William Rourke and Kyle Jamieson, if fit, bowling in tandem. Wonder how New Zealand keeps producing such. Yeah, like Mustafa, I said, they have a system of bringing in players. Even I was a little shocked, not because Kyle Jamieson, again, he's been out from a back injury, but now Southie ka reign finally thoda khatam pe aa raha, and they just look like they're losing play allowed to play. And then after that debacle in the 24 T20 World Cup, and before that 23 World Cup, maybe they lost in the semi-final. It just looked like, अरे भाई इन लोगों के पास कोई, that 150 Shane Bond, and your Lockie Ferguson's been inconsistent and very injury prone, but somehow they're managing. Like, it's credit to them. And life after Kane Williamson, it looks like sustain हो जाएंगी. And yeah, I think they just have this way of getting out some players and making that.
And with New Zealand, it's always, if you see, they get their basics right first, and that's how they do well at especially big matches. They don't take too much pressure on them. Fielding अच्छी करते, and then they will have their dips in form. They will have rustiness. They will have players out of form. But I think in general, that's how they play. Like Rachin Ravindra, the way he's come in, the way he's batted. We always used to miss McCullum. After McCullum, we've had players like Williamson, we've had players like Rachin Ravindra, we've had like so many players. So I think New Zealand have that system which keeps flowing.
Isn't it already time to change the whole setup of the India's women's team in the T20 IS? They haven't even qualified.
Yes, because look, yes, the coach has to go and everything, but the person in common right now is Harmanpreet. Ramesh Pawar got sacked when Harmanpreet was captain in 2018. Everyone blamed him, like they're blaming Amul Majumdar, and rightly so. But I think the captain's also been given enough time. 6 saal ho gaye. It's time for her to go, and you go look to another captain. It doesn't matter who. You just go to someone and see what happens, and put the trust in them, back them properly for at least 3 to 6 months, and then see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are pointing finger at Jamima to be the captain because of her aggressive intent and the fact that she can, carry on the captaincy for longer. But yeah, we just have to give her a couple of series just to see how it is, and maybe sit like how they do it in a men's division. You sit out the captain just to give another captain an opportunity, something like that. Maybe Harmanpreet can just sit a tour and just give someone the leadership and see how they handle that pressure. And again,
if you're going to go with with the vice captain, and just go with Smriti and see what happens. And then make somebody else vice captain who can take her over, because Smriti Mandhana has been the deputy to Harmanpreet over the last few years.
Yeah.
She's experienced. Yes, she's not informed. She has her own problems. Lekin, I think that is just a logical way to go. And then you make a vice captain who, if Smriti doesn't work, in the longer term, you can make them the captain. I think that's how you should.
New Zealand future bowling is the Matt Henry, Kyle Jamieson, William O'Rourke, and Ben Steers. They are very tough to play. Out of all the coaches available at your peril, why in the world would you want someone like an Amol Majumdar as your coach fit? It just doesn't make sense.
I don't think it's like just solely that. I mean, I don't know how he is as a coach. I think he was a great domestic batter. He was a great player. I don't know how he is as a coach. From a distance from what I saw, it looked like he was discussing with players. He was talking. He was having conversations. It didn't work out, but it's happened in the past. Ramesh Pawar also, it didn't work out. You'll say, why did you have him? But it's not necessarily, we don't know, like someone like a Raj, क्या नाम था उसका, Rajput. उन्हें तो भाई T20 मेंस को जिता दिया, and nobody really thought he would do that. Lal Chand Rajput. So I don't think it's just the stature of the coach or anything like that. Yes, he's not done well and he has to be criticized, but they have to try somewhere, right? So they went with him.
Yeah, does Harmanpreet stay captain for the next year Women's ODI World Cup in India, or get a new captain now and below? I mean, they're having a meeting.
No way, because 25 में अब October में है, right, tournament. Yeah. There's no way, you have to make the change.
In India, yeah, and the thing is, again, they're going to have a meeting now with BCCI and they'll probably decide. Agar accolades ke wise was, if you go in terms of accolades, they've not achieved anything. They've come to finals. They've played some good cricket. But at this point of time, the Indian cricket and the way they have been in bilateral, they should have really won a couple of, especially the Asia Cup in Sri Lanka recently.
Yeah, and that was, you didn't win the Asia Cup, and then on top of that, you didn't make the semi-finals here as well. So there was no impressive performances. I think a call needs to be taken, and she.
Well, psychologist going to there has to be some sort of accountability there. You can't have your selectors come out and after years for a press conference and then just vanish away.
There has to be some accountability there. You can't
just have your selectors come out after years for a press conference and just vanish away.
Yeah, you can't. There has to be accountability over there. And, these players also have to understand, like the management also has to understand that these players need bilateral series. They need tournaments happening. They
Just
can't just go
before,
into a
yeah.
tournament with just preparation and thing. Like I don't have any problem if you have a psychologist, if you're doing training outside and everything like that. But you also have to have games. You have to have game time. Game time is different to practice, right, off the field.
Of course, Harmanpreet has been announced as the captain with Smithy as vice captain for the upcoming home ODI series against New Zealand. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't clearly indicate, but yeah, अभी तो immediate turnover है, so maybe they're just going with Harmanpreet and see कि भाई probably
It's a wrong decision.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of people, especially Mithali Raj, also was like saying कि भाई it's time for Harmanpreet to let it down, let the captaincy go. She can still play as a player, no doubt. We
Yeah,
have no doubts
100%.
in that, and we've seen the capability that she has to play every format, not just like Test or ODI, T20. Maybe she's been fantastic, but it's just your leadership tactics towards the pressure situations are not the best.
Yeah.
You getting emotionally absorbed in the game is not a good quality of a leadership. A leader is one who leads people in out of their emotions and makes them focus.
Yeah.
So that's something that where
Was it the right call to give Sri Lanka Patil the last over against Australia? Was it the right call to go crazy over that run out in the New Zealand game? There's a lot of
and generally T20 you don't see that happening, right? Like
yeah. And especially when they have good bowlers who can finish off in the depth.
Renuka and stuff like that. Yeah. Also, I just want to understand why some series weren't organized before the World Cup. Every other team was trying out a different combination. We were having a net session.
Bilkul, I agree.
Exactly. Like that's what it is. Like either you could be a little bit more critical, maybe overconfidence. Because like everybody was, you're right, playing West Indies. South Africa was playing. West Indies was playing. Australia was playing New Zealand as well. I think England also had a couple of games. But yeah, India just Asia Cup के बाद, despite losing, it's more funny that despite losing that final, you didn't at least try to get, even if it was like a Bangladesh or a Sri Lanka.
Everybody was playing.
Anyone could just you could have asked a couple of games. I'm pretty sure. अब आप intra squad अपने आप को इतना अच्छा समझ के आपके intra squad games will be equivalent to playing an opposition of a different player. That doesn't.
आप देख लो न्यूजीलैंड 3 मैच हारे वहां पे ऑस्ट्रेलिया में बुरा तरीके से. Everyone was saying yeah they're not going to do well in the World Cup, but what happened? It helped them, right? The preparation.
And that's what the captain said as well, and they beat India after a 10 streak losing in the World Cup. So yeah, they lost. The captain also came out and said कि भाई हमको सब write off करे because we lost tremendously against Australia recently, but we'll bounce back, and they did. Credit to them for making the semi-finals. Credit to South Africa also the way they bounced back.
Bilkul, yeah. South Africa have been outstanding as well, man. Last couple
the senior players are taking the
there's no
throne, right? Like you've got there's no Shabnam Ismail. They've got a new spinner Laba. They've got Wolvart who's playing fantastic. Tasman Brits, Merzan Cap, and today Bosch, the way she was attacking the bowlers.
Crazy strike rate today.
154 I think or something like that. So yeah, you've got to credit South Africa the way they've worked out the system quickly. Like they didn't hold on to the emotion of losing and अरे हम run out हो गए और फलाना नहीं. आप हार गए खत्म. You move on. You get away from that loss and you regroup. Why do you have Yastika and Hemalata in your squad when Harman decided to promote herself only to drop back down? Exactly, that's a very good question. She came third, just showing signs of responsibility, but quickly then Jamima was given that role, which didn't make sense. And that's why we were thinking left hand right hand combination. Yastika को आप डाल सकते थे वहाँ पे.
Because you did not have enough time to experiment before the World Cup. You didn't know what your strongest 11 is, and that is why all this thing happened.
True, that's fair. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Tomorrow we'll be going hopefully to the Chinnaswamy maybe, and trying to get live coverage from there. And then you've got Pakistan, England. Maybe that finishes tomorrow. You've got the second semi-final of the T20 Women's World Cup between West Indies and South Africa. So we'll be West Indies and New Zealand, where South Africa are waiting in the final right now, beating Australia today. And yeah, we'll see if there's any IPL news and any rumors that we can find on the streets. But till then, thank you so much everybody for joining us. Ibrahim bhai, Adhian bhai, Irfan bhai, everybody who joined us today with a comment. Do hit that like button and subscribe button, and definitely we'll be back very very soon. Good night.